What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Arts Remix Blastoise. And so here we have Blastoise posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what he comes with. Blastoise does come with two different heads. He does come with a head where he's looking straight forward, and then he also does come with a head where he's looking off to the right. Blastoise also does come with two hydro pump effects which do fit into his little cannons, and that's a really great effect. I am glad that they included it. Other than that, we really don't get anything else with Blastoise. I really don't know what more you would want from Blastoise, but with that being said, guys, let's actually take a closer look at Blastoise. And so here we do have a closer look at Blastoise, and Figuarts did a really good job with this figure. Now, this is the art remix version of Blastoise. It's not the original D-Arts version. There are a couple of differences between the two, and we'll get into that as we take a look at them. Looking at his paint, first of all, I really do love how the red looks in his eyes. It's just really done well. I think my preferred look is having him looking straight forward, although if you want him looking off to the side, they do include a head for that. Now, this Blastoise does have teeth inside of his mouth, which the original D-Arts Blastoise did not have teeth. Now, I think, and I haven't taken a look at Blastoise in a long time, but I do believe the teeth are canon. The teeth are the way his mouth is supposed to be. The original D-Arts version did omit the teeth for some reason. Taking a look at his shell, which is a really nice little thing, we do have his little shoulder cannons right here. Well, shell cannons, not really on his shoulder, but they do function really well. You can see they are on ball hinges, so they work really well. And then the shell itself is on a ball hinge, so that's done really well. You can see where the shell does connect. Paint job is really good on mine, except there's a little black smudge right here on mine, which is a little bit unfortunate. Other than that, I think they did a really good job painting the shell. You can see it does have some shading in it, so I do appreciate that little detail. Having a look at his arms are perfect the way they are. We have three segments the way his arm is shown, and then we do have three fingers on each hand, and I really do like that. The little nails are done in white plastic. Having a look at his shell, I think the D-Arts version did have the little lines in his shell painted. I don't have that figure, so I really can't compare the two, and I really did want to get it. But overall, I still like the way this came out. We do have Blastoise legs, knees. Well, is this supposed to be his kneecap? Is it supposed to be armor? I don't know. I never understood that, but he does have his big old kneecap, armor plate, whatever you want to call it. Unlike the D-Arts version, this version of Blastoise does have the three toes the way it's supposed to be. When they did this originally, I believe he just had the two toes, and that really wasn't how Blastoise is designed. He has three toes, and really glad that when they went back to remake this figure, they gave him his three toes, as well as his little back claw right here. And then he does have a little tail, which is articulated, and we'll get more into that when we have a look at his articulation. But overall, just a really nice looking figure. He is kind of small, and we'll get into that right now as we move into comparison. So let's actually get Blastoise posed so we can get him for comparisons. And so here we have Blastoise posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Blastoise posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Blastoise posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we have Blastoise posed next to an SH Figuarts Ash Ketchum and the Figuarts Team Rocket. And finally, here we have Blastoise posed next to the SH Figuarts Arts Remix Mewtwo. So as you can see, Blastoise is a really small figure. Now if we do go based on his Pokedex, he's supposed to be 5'3", and that means he's taller than Ash, but as you can see, he is really small. A small little figure. I honestly thought he was going to be a little bit bigger, but I still like the way he scales with the other Arts Remix Pokemon figures. Now, Having a look at Blastoise articulation, his jaw is articulated so you can have his mouth open all the way up. Just be careful because when you do open and close his mouth a lot, you do start to get paint rub right here along his lips. It's not noticeable at first, but just be aware that if you keep doing it, that paint might start rubbing off, so do be aware of that. His head is on a ball hinge. It does go up to about that far, goes down, and you can adjust it so that it covers itself up, so I really do like that. Of course, we do get some swivel on that. He does move left and right, and of course we do get some up and down movement on that, so really good articulation there. As you can see, he looks up about that far. He could look down further. Unfortunately, this piece does pop up, and you really can't have him looking down all too much, which is a little bit unfortunate. Having a look at his shell next, these parts of his shell, they are on ball joints. You can see they do slightly pivot forward and back, up and down, but they really don't do much. I think these would have been much better if they actually opened and closed, and you could take his cannons out to have them with the closed shell look. But other than that, that's pretty useless. He does have a hinge ball peg here in the cannon, so they do move forward and back really well on that hinge. And then of course we do get a really nice ball joint on those cannons. Now unfortunately you can't get them facing forward the way you would expect, and that's a little bit of a problem, especially coming from Blastoise, seeing as how you do want his cannons facing forward all the time, especially when he's doing attacks. His arms are on, I believe it's a ball joint. It might be the same type of joint that Godzilla figures are on, where it's a ball joint that is pegged in a certain way, and in order to get his arms out, you do have to rotate it. As you can see, it does rotate fairly well, and it is kind of tight. I want to say it's a ball hinge in there, but I really haven't taken it out to show you. His arms do pop off relatively easy, but it's not like they're incredibly loose. They just do pop out, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I'd rather things pop than break. Now we do have rotation right here at this segment, which this is just basically a giant ball hinge. As you can see, it does rotate, and it does hinge up and down, which does give the hand some up and down movement. Now on mine, there's a little piece of plastic right there that does make articulating it a little bit challenging, but it does move. We of course do get swivel in the hand, and then all of his little fingers are articulated, so I do like that. They're on their own little individual ball joints. Of course, we get nothing in the torso because of his shell. Legs, incredibly hindered. They do swivel, and they're really stiff. You can see they do swivel forward and back. We do have some in and out movement, so I think those are also on ball joints. But just the way his leg is sculpted, you're not going to get too much movement. He does have ball jointed ankles, but because the way his leg comes down, we really don't get too much movement out of that. His toes are individually articulated on ball joints, so I do appreciate that little detail. As you can see, they do rotate, move up and down, side to side, so do like that. And then his tail is on its own individual ball joint, so it does move forward, or up and down, side to side, forward and back, however you want his tail to be posed. But other than that, that's all Blastoise has, and it's pretty decent for the character, the way he looks, so I'm not going to fault the figure for the design of the character. It's done really well. So, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Blastoise posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do love the way this Blastoise looks. Although he is relatively small in conjunction with other figure lines, I do think he scales really well with the Pokemon Remix series. I don't have Charizard, unfortunately. He is on my to-get list. I am really happy that I have Mewtwo, and I'm pretty sure that Venusaur is in the works, so really looking forward to that. As far as Blastoise here goes, there's really not much more you can want out of a Blastoise figure. I think if he had a little more articulation in the cannons and just a little more articulation in the neck, that would be so much better. But as it stands, this is a great figure to have, especially if you're a Pokemon fan. Now, there are enough differences from this figure to warrant a pickup, especially if you have the original DArts version. I think between the two, I would much rather have this version of Blastoise because he's a little more accurate to the Pokemon Index, as he should be. And even though you don't get a special stand, I think that's a good trade-off, seeing as how we do get an alternate head. If you can get hold of this Blastoise, I have seen him available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. Now for me, I actually got this Blastoise from my fellow YouTuber, D Amazing, who did an amazing job shipping this out to me, and I'm really happy to have him in my collection. If you want to check out D Amazing's channel, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description for this video so you can go check out his videos, which I really do recommend you do because he's a really awesome YouTuber. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other SH Figuarts and Pokemon videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.